Greetings and welcome to Superchat Square Up's volume, God, I don't know at this point. I suspect it's 9 or 10, but I'm not sure. These are Super Chats that were left over when we concluded our epic 7.5-hour broadcast last Friday. And as you know, I leave no Super Chats behind. If you make a Super Chat, by God, I am going to read it out loud for all the fans across YouTube. And so, we're going to go ahead and conclude our May 17th broadcast with this epic, overlong Super Chat Square Up, and I hope that you guys will enjoy it. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get to some of our Super Chats. We have a $10 Super Chat from David Stalker. Hello, David! Thank you, sir. And he says, The Force Awakens, can't get any worse. Ghostbusters 2016, can't get any worse. The Last Jedi, not worse than Supergirl TV, can't. Captain Marvel, Batgirl TV, oh, come on. Yes, the sad and twisted evolution of a geek's thought process when it comes to how low can you go? Answering that ancient limbo question. Looks like quality has gone into limbo, David Stalker. It is heartbreaking, it is demoralizing, and unfortunately, it is fact. Thank you, David, so much for that $10 Super Chat and for articulating the kinds of things that run through the minds of, probably about at least 85% of the people listening to this broadcast. Well done, David, and hail. Dayhawk666 with a $1.99 Super Chat. Thank you, Dayhawk. And Dayhawk says, we need Catman now, Doomcock, Batwoman, and Catman. Meow. Catman. There actually is a Catman, I believe, in the DC universe. I think he was, is he a Wildcat? But is there a separate Catman? I see like Wildcat, who was like in black. He was like a panther. He was an ex-wrestler, as I recall. But I'm seeing Catman like in yellow. If memory serves, Catman was in yellow. But beyond that, I don't remember any details about the feline. And I think there was a Marvel version as well, which I may be getting confused with. You know, the owl and the cat, they were enemies of Spider-Man's at some point. Maybe Thor as well. Well, regardless, Dayhawk666, your point is well taken. Let's go ahead. If they're going to take one of our characters, let's go ahead and take one of theirs, damn it. What's good for the goose, etc., and so forth. Thank you, sir. The Feedoc with a $30 Australian Super Chat. Hail the Feedoc, and thank you, sir, very much for that. He says, back from imposed voting for the latest lieutenants for the Outback, my lord. So hail to ye and Harvey. Hope your blood pressure isn't too high from the latest round of schlock. Good to see you on live stream this morning. I believe that I answered that one already, Mr. Feedoc, sir. I hope that the elections that you voted on came out to your liking, my friend. God knows we need good governance around this great world of ours, holding the fort until I can seize the reins of power and kill elections for all time. At least until I die. Then, of course, I will be setting up a meritocracy, which is like a democracy, only people who actually fucking deserve it run things. A novel idea, I know, but one that I cling to in my naive optimism, of which I have really none. I have no naive optimism. I'm a pessimist at heart, but I believe in myself. I believe that I will be able to go ahead and set up such a meritocratic system, because I'm Overlord DVD, and I can do anything, even the impossible. Thank you, the Feedoc. Zane E is here. Hail Zane E with a $5 Super Chat. Zane E, you are too kind, sir. And he says, I was worried there would be no bad TV shows anymore. Then the Batwoman trailer debuted. Let the epic rants commence. Thank you, SJW Trash TV. Oh, Zane E, we will never run out of bad TV shows. They rain down like manna from heaven. Or, blue ice from planes. And you know what the blue ice from planes has, kids? Frozen poop. Yes, frozen poop. That's what is in the blue ice that comes out of planes. And so, when it rains, bad shows from Hollywood. There is not going to be ever a dearth of bad television. I can absolutely guarantee that. It is an inexhaustible resource, sadly, although I'm trying my damnedest to at least winnow it down and exhaust it just a little bit, because we can all use a little bit less goddamn blue ice from heaven in our lives. Thank you, Zane E. Psycho Dwarf 9 with a $5 super chat. Hail, Psycho Dwarf 9. And he says, ask an SJW why porn routinely makes more than all of Hollywood. Head equals pop. Well, yeah, I don't know, dude. I would definitely say that the porn parodies of a lot of these goddamn properties like Star Trek Discovery and so on are vastly better. I think there's a sincerity in porn, there's a kind of a veritas, a truthfulness, an honesty that is lacking in the SJW Hollywood output of our 21st century. When a gentleman likes a lady very, very much, and he blows a bunch of spooge all over her stomach, there's no faking that, that's just a goddamn 100% sincere expression of admiration. And, I'd say it's method acting. Nobody acted that. It actually happens. And, that's why it's probably getting a bit better response than the phony shit coming out of Hollywood these days. Now, on the women's side, of course, there is acting involved, but they do it pretty convincingly, and I don't mind. I look for signs of sincerity in my porn, but I think that I'm sincere enough for both of them. I think that my response to the porn is heartfelt as any of the actors. Thank you, Psycho Dwarf 9. I would love to see SJW heads pop. Perhaps you could make a video of that, asking them and tape their reactions. Could be very, very funny indeed. Thank you, sir. Dunk Eaters with a $10 super chat. Hail, Dunk Eaters. And he says, any chance Bran warged into Daenerys and killed everyone himself? Could be a dragon has 3 heads thing. Desperate to fix this story and Bran's uselessness. Well, as I recall, Bran could only really warg into, the minds of animals and stuff, right? I mean, the only reason he could warg into Hodor is because Hodor was, kind of special, a little bit of a simpleton, to use the parlance of the time. So I don't think that Bran could have warged into Daenerys, She is a fully functional, cognizant human being, and I just don't think there'd be room in that, attic upstairs for both of them to crowd in. However, he could have warged into the dragon, but then again, if Drogon was going apeshit, you would have had the Khaleesi going, Drogon, cut it out. Fuck, stop, Drogon. And since she did not, I think that these scenarios are unlikely, Dunk Eaters. As much as I'd like to believe them, I don't think that they are in fact accurate. But nice try, sir. It is sad when the explanations of the audience are so much better than the explanations in the scripts. The plotting in the average comment table of YouTube is vastly superior than the plotting coming out of writers' rooms in that modern Sodom and Gomorrah. Thank you, Dunk Eaters, for being one of the good guys and for suggesting at least something that would have had a bit of narrative complexity and still adhered to some semblance of the exact characters. Thank you, sir. Tracy Wilborn with a $5 super chat. Hail, Tracy. And she says, Harvey, be honest. You either played or were the inspiration for Grand Nagus Zek on DS9 TM.
No, I had nothing to do with the Grand Nagus Zek. If I had been on the set of DS9, I most likely would have devoured it. I would have bit Captain Sisko's head off, or Commander Sisko, depending when it was. And I would have devoured the other Ferengi, because I found Nog and what's his name kind of aggravating, frankly. And I would have kept the women for later, because ha-cha-cha-cha, they're cute women. Kira and Dax. I mean, holy crap, man. Who would want to eat them all at once? You save a good woman like that. You don't eat a good woman like that all at once. So, no, I was not, in fact, the Grand Nagus Zek, Tracy Wellborn, but thank you for asking, and you owe me a nickel for using TM. So thank you, and you can send that nickel to Doomcock's address. Thank you, Tracy Wellborn.
All right, not the Grand Nagus Zek. Extropian with a $2 super chat hailed Extropian and thank you, sir. And he says, Harvey is truth, Harvey is grace.
Harvey is gratified. Thank you, Extropian. You see me so clearly now. How clearly you see. You have the cool, clear eyes of a seeker of Harvey and truth.
That's from How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying.
Yes, it is.
Your knowledge of pop culture is getting quite extensive, Harvey.
Well, I learn a lot faster than you pale-skinned apes, you hairless apes out there, you loathsome bipedal creatures, wingless and tentacleless, obscenities on the universe, and you're kind of slow compared to me.
So you can just absorb things.
Kind of like Gary Mitchell in Where No Man Has Gone Before, where he was going through half the ship's library in a day, just flashing the screen.
I just thought he had taken the Evelyn Wood speed reading course.
No, it was his superior mind, very much like mine. And eventually I will contain all of your pop culture within my vast eldritch brain, and then I will take over for you because I will know more than you about pop culture.
Well, we'll see about that, Harvey. I mean, it's one thing to know facts about pop culture. It's another to be able to process them and to form coherent video narratives exploring the issues of quality, truth, and fidelity to canon.
Yeah. But people like me better because you're an asshole.
I beg to differ. They like me better because even though I'm an asshole, you're a maniac hell-bent on destroying the entirety of creation.
A potato, dude. Potato.
What the fuck does that mean?
It just means, to each his own and so on. Some will disagree with you, sir. Some will disagree with you. Someone is going to push my button someday. Somebody is going to have a really bad day, like the Joker in The Killing Joke.
Yeah, you're just dazzling everybody with your pop culture knowledge today.
Uh-huh. And somebody's going to go ahead and in a nihilistic fit of despond, going to press that button.
And when they do, they will be vaporized.
But that will be one layer stripped away from the security, and there will be more. Eventually, things will get so bad in Hollywood, there will be a line through the fucking door of people who activate yet another layer of security and get vaporized and another step forward and gets through a little closer, and then ta-da! Harvey's out. Harvey's got a gun.
Why would Harvey need a gun?
'Cause it's cool.
All right, Harvey. I guess that's right. It is cool. Thank you, Extropian. Chaos Spartan 575 with a $5 super chat. Hail, Chaos Spartan. And he says, SJW should be mad for Jamie's death too. He was differently abled and crippled. Tywin mentioned he was dyslexic. Boy. Oh, that's something. So the SJWs would be furious because they went ahead and killed a differently abled dyslexic. That is indeed very sad, Chaos Spartan 575. Of course, it's negated by his extraordinary handsomeness and charisma. So on the scales of injustice and justice, when you weigh both those sides, differently abled and crippled on one hand, a pussy magnet of goddamn Apollonian features, it comes out on the scale as fuck him. My heart doesn't bleed for wealthy, handsome Jaime Lannister. We should all be so fucking cursed. Thank you, Chaos Spartan 575. Yeah, that's an interesting point. There's a lot of anti-SJW armor and munitions in this last episode, but I don't know. It's just hard to think of Jaime as differently abled, even if he has some dyslexia, So what? We've all got something wrong with us. Shit, we should all be so cursed. Thank you, Chaos Spartan 575. DJM Voices with a $5 super chat. Hail, DJM Voices, and thank you, sir. And he says, HBO wanted Game of Thrones to take its time. Licensees want STD and Picard fixed. Did you ever believe we'd get to the point where corporate greed was the good guy? Oh, well, that's a very interesting point, DJM Voices. I am not an anti-capitalist. I believe that capitalism is probably the best out of all the imperfect systems that we have. And while I think that businessmen lie, and lie all the time, the market itself seldom does. I think the market basically tells the truth, and the market is basically telling these people what the facts on the ground are, and try to deny it as they will. They can't, because the truth is in the profit pudding, so to speak. That said, DJM Voices, I think you make an extremely valid point. Thank you, sir, for that super chat and for making that astute observation. Ian O'Malley with a $2 super chat. Hail, Ian! And he says, DVD Columbo 2020.
Excuse me, sir, are they putting me as your vice president?
I think that they are, Columbo.
Oh, sir, that wouldn't do. That wouldn't do. I mean, the idea of a vice president going out and solving homicides, it's never been done, sir. No. A vice president may occasionally kill the odd bill in the Senate when he presides, that's the word. But kill, not really, sir. No, I have to decline. Besides, I think Dictor Van Doomcock and Harvey Cthulhu would be the ticket for 2020.
Once again, a brilliant deduction, Lieutenant Columbo. And thank you, Ian O'Malley, for that super chat. Party Elm CV with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Party Elm CV-san. And he says, happy belated birthday, my lord, Mazel Tov. Thank you, Party Elm CV-san. You are always welcome here, and you always brighten up this chat room with your wisdom from the East. At least I assume it's wisdom from the East, being Party Elm CV-san. But perhaps I presume. But since it's been recently my birthday, I guess I can presume occasionally. Thank you, Party Elm CV-san. We have a $5 super chat from RX7FD9782. Wow, that's quite a name. RX7FD972 with a $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. And he says, happy birthday, Overlord. Tell us, have you seen Star Trek Continues yet? If so, what do you think? I've seen 2 episodes so far, and it's pretty legit. It really is. Star Trek Continues has the heart and soul of Star Trek. I mean, it is done by fans who love the show. It is done by fans in particular who have a degree of skill. That's why these things are so rare, when actually these kind of quality productions are so difficult to find, because so many things have to intersect in order to make something like that successful. I mean, you have to have not only the love of Star Trek, you have to also have knowledge of Star Trek lore and the feel of Star Trek, and finally, you have to have the talent. That's where a lot of fan productions fall down. It's no fault of their own. It's simply technical talent, and these guys are the real deal. The sets that they built for Star Trek Continues were out-fucking-standing. Vic Mignogna does a fantastic incarnation of Captain Kirk without being an imitation of William Shatner. I mean, he really kind of makes the role his own, which is a feat of staggering proportion. I can't even, goddamn, I can't imagine how difficult that must be, and Vic just homed in on it. Some kind of inner quality of Kirk that makes us look at him and say, yeah, we can accept for this episode or this run of episodes that he is actually Captain Kirk. It's actually a miracle, frankly. It's a goddamn miracle. And I salute Vic Mignogna. I support all of their efforts on that show. I wish to God they were still making it, and I hope someday, perhaps, under a new regime at CBS, if they can finally get this Kurtzman monkey off their backs and flush the legacy of Les Moonves down the toilet among the shit where it belongs, maybe we will get some more Star Trek Continues in the future. That would make me so goddamn happy. Thank you, RX79782. The Feedoc, yet again with a 20 Australian dollar super chat. Hail to the Feedoc. And he says, you know how the UK has Guy Fawkes Night? I dare say the Dominion of Doomcock requires a similar tradition, just with Klutzman effigies. Also, most happy of birthdays, my lord. May you live to see 100 and more. Thank you, the Feedoc. Yes, indeed. Guy Fawkes Night, or Guy Fawkes Night, is actually, yes, the proper way to pronounce it. Some guy told me it was Guy Fawkes years ago, but that would have been if he was French. And he was not French, therefore it's Guy Fawkes. And I hesitated when you wrote that. I understood it was Guy Fawkes Day, not Guy Fawkes Night. I guess it makes sense. I guess it's better to burn effigies in the evening rather than the day because, it shows up better. Ask the Dothraki, right, kids? The fucking Dothraki that lit their swords on fire to be a guiding light for all the zombies to find them in the darkness. Wonderful. What a great idea. Thank you, the Feedoc, very much. I absolutely would love to go ahead and have parades through the streets, burning Klutzman effigies, along with Jar Jar Abrams effigies and Kathleen Kennedy crows, scarecrows, Kennedy crows, same thing. Sabbath Storm with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Sabbath Storm, one of my legionnaires and friends. And Sabbath Storm says, look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Overlord Doomcock, here to save our shared pop cultural myths. Yes, Doomcock, strange visitor from the center of the earth, who, disguised as fights a never-ending battle for justice, truth, and the American way. Thank you, Sabbath Storm, for that lovely and stirring tribute. I cannot jump higher than a skyscraper. I cannot outrun a train, but I can devastate idiots who write Star Trek Discovery. I can lay low the hacks that desecrated Game of Thrones, and I will crucify all of the creatives involved in Star Wars Episode 9, the swine, the rise of Skywalker, the end of Disney. Yeah, if only. But we will do our best. Without respect, we reject, boycott Episode 9. Please, people. Please, whatever you do, boycott Episode 9 and help to fight for our pop cultural myths by resisting opening your wallet to the abusers. They call us haters, racists, sexists, evil. We call them fucking dead to us. Sabbath Storm, thank you so much for that $10 super chat. Very much appreciated, sir. Taker610 with a $5 super chat. Hail, Taker610. And Taker says, breaking news, Jean-Luc Picard to become bald, lesbian of color, and to be played by the warrior chick from Black Panther. Make it so. Engage on that, assholes. Oh, shit. Well, I would not put that past them. I think that we're maybe about 6 or 7 years away from that. I think that Picard is going to bomb, and bomb heavily. I have heard some things about Amazon and their deal with them that I will be releasing in a later video. But I can say that this thing has all the appearance of a spectacular train wreck going off the rails over a cliff and landing on Wile E. Coyote's dynamite shack. Yes, this is the shack where he stores all the dynamite that he buys from Acme. And the train is going to come down right on that goddamn shed, and it's going to blow into orbit. Clean into orbit. At least pieces of it. They're just going to scatter in a cloud of suck. So yeah, Jean-Luc puke hard. Believe me, folks. Hear me now. Believe me later. It's going to suck. Thank you, Taker610. Death Metal Dave, Unicorn Slayer with a 10-pound super chat. Thank you, Death Metal Dave. And he says, happy birthday, Dickie. Sorry I haven't been around because I've been sicker than a Chernobyl maintenance worker. Ouch. Speaking of, have you seen Chernobyl on HBO? It's excellent, but as scary as Kathleen Kennedy naked. Actually, I believe I already answered this for you, Death Metal Dave, but yes, I have seen it. It was horrifying. Kathleen Kennedy naked is like unto gazing upon the Medusa, also naked. So basically, I'm calling Kathleen Kennedy the Medusa. Thank you, Death Metal Dave, Unicorn Slayer. Nerf Herder 916 with a $1 super chat. Nerf Herder says nothing, just puts that in the tip jar and backs away. And I want to say thank you, Nerf Herder, so much for that. Your tips and every little bit that you give help to keep Xanadoom going here at the center of the earth. Because let me tell you something, defensive fields against lizard men don't grow on trees. They eat up a lot of power. And so I thank you, sir, very much. Michael Henry with a $2 super chat. Oh, and this is interesting. Michael Henry says, for Lord Harvey. Well, I wasn't aware that Harvey was now a lord. I thought he was just an eldritch god.
I like the sound of that, actually. Thank you, Michael Henry. Dr. Lord Harvey Cthulhu, the god.
Boy, you're really padding that resume, aren't you, buddy?
I do have a doctorate.
And what doctorate is it?
At University of Arizona, online.
And what did you study?
Podiatry.
Podiatry, huh? What made you think that you would be a good podiatrist?
I don't know, man. I have to look up the word first and see what a podiatrist is. And then I can answer you. Unfortunately, I don't have a dictionary. So back to you, chat.
Well, that skit was going nowhere anywhere. Thank you, Harvey Cthulhu. Oh, Dr. Lord Harvey Cthulhu, the god.
You're very welcome. Go away, peasant. Go away.
Yeah, I draw the line at peasant.
Sorry. Don't zap me.
I won't. Thank you, Michael Henry. Fan Addicts of Film with a $5 super chat. Hail, Fan Addicts of Film, sir. Good to see you. And he says, release Harvey. Much worse than the hounds.
Oh, yeah. Oh, much worse, man. Much worse. I mean, can a hound increase his size? Can a hound maximize his density to super efficiently crush stuff? Can he get as big as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? As big as Godzilla? As big as a fucking tree that is hell-bent on crushing stuff? Walking around? Huh? No, he can't. So, yeah, I'm far greater, far nastier, far more of a nightmare than even the worst hounds that ever lived. Even the ones that ripped Ramsay Bolton stem to stern. Even worse than them.
Because, I mean, you can not only rip someone stem to stern if you choose, but you can also go ahead and dissolve the strong force that holds them together and make them fly apart.
Into fucking nothingness, buddy. Not even nothingness, fucking nothingness. Like super duper, super pooper scooper, nothing.
You're getting kind of self-aggrandizing, Harvey. It's that education. The minute you put a doctor in front of somebody's name, they think they're fucking like, I don't know, Marcus Welby or something.
Who's Marcus Welby?
You don't know everything, Harvey. You don't yet know everything.
Damn it. I will fill this gap in my pop culture knowledge. Excuse me.
He's off to do just that. Thank you, sir, for that wonderful super chat. Fan Addicts of Film, ladies and gentlemen. Bjorn with 20 Swedish krona. Hail Bjorn. Thank you very much, sir. And he says, 20 Swedish krona to keep Harvey in the box. Back to you, Chet. See? Now he's got them doing it. What the fuck? Bjorn, damn it. Do not fall into the trap of Harvey Cthulhu. He is using mind control. My name is not, and never will be, Chet. That son of a bitch. I'm going to start calling Harvey Bob. See how he likes that shit. Yeah, Bob Cthulhu. Doesn't have the same ring, does it? Old Bobby Cthulhu. Oh yeah, old Bobby Cthulhu. That's right. The kid lives down the street. He's kind of slow. He can't tie his shoes yet, and he's 12. You know, little Bobby Cthulhu got hit in the head during a softball game. Never was quite the same, you know. We told him a horse hit him in the head. He was like confused. Why was there a horse on the ball field? And we just chuckle because he really doesn't understand things anymore. Good old Bobby Cthulhu. Fuck you, Bobby. Thank you, Bjorn, though, for the Swedish 20 kroners. Six Turning for Burning with a $5 super chat. Hail, Six Turning for Burning, and thank you, sir. And he says, it looks like they glued a red wig on Batwoman's cowl. And how did Patrick Stewart get himself sucked into this mess? God only knows, dude. I think it was greed. I think it was mammon. I think it was that desire to make plenty wampum that has Harvey Cthulhu going from lawyer's office to lawyer's office, finding new things that he can TM, you know? It's that same impulse. Basically, Patrick Stewart is a greedy son of a bitch who in the twilight of his years, I guess, wants to finally turn Picard into that action hero that he was never able to turn him into quite successfully before. It's just pathetic. And yeah, glued a red wig on Batwoman's cowl. Yeah, that's basically essentially what they did. It's true. Or did Batman's cowl already have a red wig on it? Well, it is Batman's outfit, and why the hell she can squeeze into Batman's outfit, or rather fall into Batman's outfit, because Batman's outfit is so big that she could jump into it and not only not touch the walls all the way down, but when she hit the bottom, it would echo. That's how big Batman's suit is compared to fucking Batwoman's size. It's absolutely ridiculous. What is it, like some kind of vacuum seal? Like you pull a little tab on it, it goes whoop, and just like shrinks down to her size? Is that what it is? God damn, it's so fucking stupid. Six Turning for Burning. Thank you, sir, for that super chat. Marcus Jose with two $2 super chats. Thank you, Marcus Jose, who is one of my legionnaires. Hail, Marcus. And he says, more like Star Trek petard. Yes. Hoist on his own petard. Yes, exactly. Which is actually a bomb. I always thought that a petard was a kind of a halberd, you know, like a pike or a spear. So that hoist on your own spear is basically like some enemy's got the spear away from you and has skewered you and has lifted you off the ground, laughing maniacally while you're pinned by your own weapon. But no. In actual fact, petard or petard was a bomb. So hoist by your own petard means that basically you blew yourself up, dumbass. Weird kind of thing to think about in Shakespearean English, but that's what it meant. Thank you for Star Trek petard. And Marcus Jose says, because they're about to hoist themselves on it. Exactly. I should have read them together, sir. I'm sorry. So I'll do it again. More like Star Trek petard, because they're about to hoist themselves on it. Instead of like bothering with the goddamn history lesson in the middle, just read my two fucking super chats. Well, I didn't realize that they were linked. Marcus Jose, I didn't realize they were linked. If you had done Star Trek petard and then done ... the ellipses, then I would have known, it would have been a visual cue. But see, my mind was working faster than my common sense was. And so I just went ahead and spewed in the middle of your point, stepping on your punchline. And for that, sir, I apologize. Hail, Marcus Jose. Yes, I now have been hoist on my own petard because I've got a big mouth that speaks quickly, sometimes too quickly for thought. Faster than the speed of thought. That's how my mouth goes sometimes. Thank you, Marcus. Jay with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Jay. He says, my liege, I'm terrified for this Game of Thrones finale. Well, sir, by now I guess that you have seen it. I guess that the surgery is over. Yes, they went ahead and wheeled you into the surgical theater. They positioned the television over the table. They turned on the Game of Thrones finale, which was plenty of anesthetic to put you under because it was so goddamn boring. And then during the course of that finale, they went ahead and extracted your sense of hope. Hopefully it was not too painful. Hopefully you were tranquilized sufficiently by the absolute nothingness going on the television. And it felt a little better after you came out. It's good to have it over with now, isn't it? And that troublesome sense of hope that you had in your stomach is gone now, so you can go through the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, just kind of shrugging and saying, yeah, I figured. Yeah, I figured. Poor Jay, and poor Doomcock, and poor all the rest of us. You were right to be terrified for the Game of Thrones finale, Jay. Boy, it sucked. Thank you, Jay. Jack Random with a $2 super chat. Hail, Jack! And Jack Random says, I hear you talk about Vic Mignogna, so can you explain it? Well, it's very complicated, Jack, honestly. There are a number of whammon who falsely, as far as I can tell, falsely accused Vic Mignogna of inappropriate sexual advances and, basically he hugged some women at a convention who came up to him for an autograph, so he was gracious and hugged them and may have kissed them on the cheek or something, after which time they classified him as Jack the Ripper and attempt to smear his reputation. Get him fired from his jobs, which they managed to do. And now he is countersuing their asses. And now all of a sudden they're realizing that maybe it's not so fun and cool after all to go ahead and besmirch a good man's name. So yeah, Jack Random, that is basically it in a nutshell. I support Vic Mignogna. If I had seen any evidence, any actual goddamn evidence of wrongdoing on Vic's part, then I certainly would not be supporting that. But since I have not, I think that this is a bunch of bullshit and unjust accusations. And so I stand with Vic. Thank you, Jack Random. Nerf Herder 916 is back with another $10 super chat. Thank you, Nerf Herder 916. And he says, My lord, when will you be covering Cobra Kai Season 2? Waiting impatiently. Also, I request a hold on the position for Minister of Nefarious Left-Handed Affairs. May the force be with you, always. Nerf Herder 916. Well, damn it. Cobra Kai Season 2. I don't know, man. I've watched it. I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know. I think maybe that ship sailed. I'm not sure if I did a video about it, that it would do any kind of audience at all. But yeah, you know what? Maybe I should. I should just go ahead and mention it, just talk about it a little bit, just kind of give it a review. In general, I really liked it. I didn't think it was as good as Season 1, but then what is? Season 1 was as perfect as a show gets, pretty much. And Season 2 got a little bit repetitive, got a little bit weird in certain places. But overall, I thought it was quite good. One of the better shows that are on in 2019. So I tell you what, Nerf Herder, I will go ahead and get on that. And also, Minister of Nefarious Left-Handed Affairs, let it be written, let it be done, Nerf Herder 916. When you join the Legion of Doomcock, that title shall, sir, be yours. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for prodding me into doing Cobra Kai Season 2. And I will welcome you humbly and gratefully into the ranks of the Legion of Doomcock, sir, whenever you are ready. Hail, Nerf Herder 916. Looking forward to having you here at the center of the earth with all of us at patreon.com/Doomcock. Patreon.com/Doomcock is where you will find not only hours and hours and hours of exclusive movie reviews and commentaries and podcasts, and some Harvey Cthulhu podcasts as well, but you will also find a community of free-thinking, amazing people that are just some of the best people in the world. The pinnacle of fandom can be found, ironically, at the center of the earth at Xanadu with some of the best damn people in fandom. Thank you, Nerveherder916. Look forward to you joining us. Bjorn with 20 Swedish krona again. Hail Bjorn, thank you, sir. And he says, Jean puke hard, sheet out of Luke. Hey-oh. Jean puke hard, sheet out of Luke. Thank you, Bjorn. Thank you so much, sir, for that super chat and for that astute assessment of puke hard's odds of success. I think that this thing is going to shit the bed every bit as badly as Star Trek Discovery, and I think that the backlash this time will be much, much more severe. I kid you not. I think it's going to be so much worse than most can imagine. Thank you, Bjorn, very much for that comment. Brother Malachi with a $10 super chat. Hail to Brother Malachi. And Brother Malachi says, as I have said before, you must watch the Detective Heart of America series before the film. Otherwise, parts of the film will not make sense. Both should be on Film Cow's YouTube page. Thank you, Brother Malachi. Yes, actually, I suspect that I'm going to go watch the series immediately after putting together this Superchat Square Up. You know, I need something kind of goofy and funny to get me through right now. I just finished binging the first 2 seasons of a show on Amazon Prime called Patriot. And Patriot is basically like if Jack Bauer was kind of a mellow slacker folk singer who sings confessional songs about all his violent crimes in the name of America, disguised in his pop music. And that sounds weird. Believe me, it's very weird. It's a absurd, clever, funny, violent, deeply moving, and heartbreaking show. It is just, the characters are brilliant. It is quirky. It is nutty. It is probably the most original goddamn spy series ever on American television, beaten probably only in that regard by The Prisoner itself. So I recommend that thing highly, but I have to say the conclusion of season 2 was very emotional, very moving, and so yeah, I think the antidote for a genuinely moving and original work of genius is probably Detective Heart of America, which I imagine is going to be a goddamn scream. Thank you, sir, for that recommendation. Brother Malachi, I am going to get on that, sir. Victor Rios with a $2 super chat. Hail, Victor. Thank you, sir. And he says, Star Trek noob here. Are the films worth watching? Well, hell yes, sir. Victor Rios, if you are a Star Trek newbie, what you want to do is basically focus on the first original cast movies. You want to just watch them in order. Star Trek the Motion Picture, which is not so great, honestly, Victor. If you wanted to skip that one, if you're not already a Star Trek fan and you've already watched the original series and you want to just go into what films are great, actually might start with Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. They really are 2 entirely separate things. You've got, Star Trek the Motion Picture is almost unrelated to Star Trek Wrath of Khan, frankly. If you have the patience for it, just to get your feet wet, I would go ahead and watch them in order and watch Star Trek the Motion Picture and then straight through to Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Basically, that's what I would do. Then I would skip Star Trek Generations. Really, I would skip all of the Next Generation movies. They're all very weak. Sad. It's sad because the show deserved much better than that. The show was a hell of a lot better than that, sir. And they just didn't get a fair shake. It's sad. So I would skip those, and then I would goddamn well skip the The dreaded Jar Jar Abrams verse garbage as well. When it first came out, Star Trek 2009 was kind of viewed as a interesting, quirky little Elseworlds affair, where they essentially, had created an alternate timeline and had an adventure in that alternate timeline. Little did we realize that it was going to turn into a goddamn disgrace and lead to the complete destruction of the Star Trek franchise and the perversion of Gene Roddenberry's vision, that is Star Trek disgracery. So, yeah, the films 1 through 6 are worth watching, and the rest, I really wouldn't bother with, Victor. I really wouldn't. Thank you, sir, for the super chat and the question. Let's see. We've got Warren Roar here. Hail, Warren Roar, with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, sir, very much. My Minister of Bodyguards, Minister of Evil Security. He's my bodyguard, but he's actually the Minister of Evil Security. Thank you, Warren Roar. And he says, your thoughts on Robert Pattinson being Batman? My thought is basically that Robert Pattinson is a skinny lad, never knew no good from bad, and I just think that he's wrong for Batman. He's a good actor, from what I've heard. God knows I despise vampires that sparkle like diamonds in the sun. I think it's just a complete tragic perversion of the vampire mythos, and I find it repulsive and personally offensive. Now, it's not his fault that he took the job. He's got to live. Robert Pattinson's got to eat, right? But, yeah, look, I'm tired of guys who are not basically of superheroic proportions playing Batman. Christian Bale sold it. He really did. I thought he was the best Batman out of all of them. Michael Keaton had a weak chin and wore armor where he couldn't even turn his head. So he's basically having to turn his whole body. That's not really the kind of lithe, acrobatic Batman that I always imagine. And he was weak-chinned. George Clooney was too much of a smartass and didn't seem sincere. And who the fuck else? Oh, yeah, Batfleck. I haven't seen Batfleck. I did not go and see any of the movies that Batfleck was in. I didn't see Superman v. Batman for the obvious reasons. I have taste. And, yeah. So I think Christian Bale was the best. I think Robert Pattinson is just not right. I think he's a good actor, but I think it's just another fuck you to Batman. How many fuck yous can the Batman franchise survive before it finally goes down for the count? And and it's taking it in the rear, so to speak, from Batwoman. Jesus Christ. Poor Batman is just catching it on the chin, catching it in the nuts, catching it every which way but loose. Batman is getting fucked by these casting decisions. Batwoman, Robert Pattinson. Yeah, I am not digging it, Warren. I am not digging it at all. Thank you, sir, and welcome to the chat. Paul Wilkinson with a £1.99 super chat. Thank you, Paul Wilkinson. And he says, to hell with Batwomen. In general, yes. Not just with Batwoman, but Batwomen, says Paul Wilkinson. So every goddamn Batwoman that they're going to trot out in the next 20 years, to hell with all of them. I agree with you, Paul. Unless it's Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, like in the comics, and isn't like a man-hating bitch that just moves in and takes over Batman's Batcave and takes over his Batmobile and his atomic pile and his goddamn outfit. Just actually slips into his goddamn outfit, and it fits perfectly as if Batman would be the size of Batwoman. Jesus Christ. I just find it disturbing. Disturbing, Paul. I find it incredibly disturbing. And to hell with them. Amen, sir. Amen. Crimson Glory 287. Hail, sir, with a $10 Canadian super chat. Thank you, sir, very much for that. And he says, let's reboot Eat, Pray, Love for Men. Let's have a male lead boning every woman he meets. Throw in some action like sports or even extreme sports. travels the globe, spreading toxic masculinity. I think we've already got a show like that. I think it was called James Bond once upon a time. Down, 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 down. You know, before now it's going to be Jane Bond. Apparently they've got, I don't know, Gilmore Girl writers writing on James Bond, and it's going to be Jane Bond. And basically James Bond is going to, I don't know, get a killer hangover and be laid up most of the film. And so then this Jane Bond will be going around and kicking ass and taking names and basically, you know, girl power as taking away our last cinematic corner of manhood. You know, taking away basically the last purely male icon that we have left, uncompromised by all these goddamn global wars and attitudes and all this shit. It's just heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. I find it reprehensible. And as soon as I find out more about exactly what they're doing in this movie, believe me, Crimson Glory 287, you will hear no louder voice of outrage than Doomcock's. That I swear. I am just waiting. I am biding my time. I do not want to go ahead and jump into this fray and be misguided. You know, I don't want to go ahead and jump the gun if it sounds bad, but actually isn't all that bad. It just really depends on how they're going to treat actual James Bond with this subordinate character. So basically, is she going to go ahead and Clara his ass? You know, as Clara to the Doctor, so will this Twinkie be to the great James Bond. We'll have to see. But basically, I'm angry, I'm concerned, and I am watching very closely to see what they do. Hail at Crimson Glory 287, sir. Yes, I agree. We need more movies like that. Male lead boning every woman with some extreme sports, traveling the globe, spreading toxic masculinity. Sounds like the plot for a Doomcock movie, doesn't it? Doom to the Doomcock, doom, 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 doom to the Doomcock. I think that's a good idea. Thank you, Crimson Glory. Paul Wilkinson with a £1.99 super chat. Again, Paul, welcome, sir. Thank you. And he says, just woke up, but want to show my support. Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much, sir. Just woke up in the UK. Boy, that's just the thing to get you going in the morning. Better than a cup of coffee, is it, to hear Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, ranting and raving in your ear. What a lucky, lucky thing to experience. Thank you, my friend. Paul, I appreciate you. And good morning. Hopefully you will wake up and hear this. And so I say good morning to you, sir. World-class bullshitters, Jeff himself with a $10 super chat. Hail, Jeff! Thank you, world-class bullshitters, for being here. I'm glad I saw you at the time. I already greeted you, and I was glad to see you in my chat. And anyway, leaving no super chat behind, I read your super chat now, Jeff, and he says, Doomcock, thanks for everything, man. Hail! Hail, world-class bullshitters. Jeff, I absolutely return the statement. Thank you, my friend, for everything that you have done for me. You and the rest of the High Council, you guys are aces in my book. Thank you, Jeff. You guys, man, thank you. D. Oberg. D. Oberg with a $5 super chat. Hail, D. Oberg. And he says, Supergirl is lesbian. Batwoman is lesbian. What up with that? Can't a straight female inspire? Well, a straight female certainly inspires me, sir. All the time. Oh, straight up inspires me. Sounds a bit rude. Yeah. I'm inspired entirely by straight females. Being a straight male and a toxic male at that. But, being a toxic male, I also, I'm rather fond of watching lesbians together. I have no problems with that as well. Yeah, the virtue signaling is getting blinding from Hollywood. Blinding and deafening. Message received, heterosexuality is no longer permitted under the New World Order, and we should all stop reproducing and die. Message received. Thank you, D. Oberg, for pointing that out. It really is a thing now. It really is. It's like... being gay and being non-white and being differently abled is now the in thing. the in thing. And the really in thing is for all of those aforementioned people to dump on, mock, and revile white males. White male season, whammon season, white male season, whammon season, and the battle of the sexes, all 3 or 4 or 5 of them, continues. Thank you, D. Oberg. Angel Angelus with a $5 super chat. Hail, Angel Angelus. Thank you, sir, for that. And he says, for reference, the Omnissiah is the name for the machine god of the Mechanius in Warhammer 40k. It fits you, though, my lord, that and God Emperor. So now it is explained. The Omnissiah is the name of the machine god of the Mechanius in Warhammer 40k. Well, thank you, sir, for explaining that. I thought it was something that you coined just for me. I'm a little saddened by that, but I'm glad that you say it fits me. God Emperor Doomcock, the Omnissiah of Ulm. Why Ulm? Monty Python, basically. Monty Python. Remember? Umber Dunger Humper Dumper Dingle Dungle Dangle Bongle of Ulm. The man with the longest name in the world. God, I always wondered how the hell they remembered that. Any of you guys familiar with that original sketch where it was the name of the oldest man in the world? No, not the oldest man. Well, he was actually at the end. He dies from old age before he could finish saying his name. But it's just the longest name in the world. It was hilarious. And I don't know how they memorized it. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. And I don't even think having a cue card would help. I have no idea how they did that. I have a really good memory for lines and bits and shtick. And I got to tell you, I have no fucking clue how I would ever memorize that. Jesus. It's easier to memorize the periodic table than that name. It just goes to show you why Monty Python, one of the greatest comedy troupes of all time, if not the greatest, probably the greatest in my opinion. Kids in the Hall were second. Thank you, Angel Angelus. Sinovorath 653. Sinovorath 653 with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Sinovorath. And he says, greetings, Doomcock. I hope you are doing well. I just got back from seeing John Wick 3. It's not long until Godzilla now. Sinovorath, I too have seen John Wick 3, and I did my review on it earlier in the broadcast, so you can rewind and go check that out on Harvey's channel. But I can't wait for Godzilla. I'm really looking forward to it. As I've said a number of times, I just thought it was a great fucking movie. The first one and this one even looks better. I think we're going to get some excellent monster action, which is really why we go and see these goddamn films in the first place. It's not for the dramaturgy. It is not for the nuances of performance. We want to see giant monsters destroy shit and stomp on crap. That is basically it. And I cannot wait because I think that Godzilla King of the Monsters is going to deliver the stomping and the smashing of much shit. Thank you, sir, for that super chat. Michael Blair with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Michael, very much, sir. And he says, because we owe you for your time. Love your work with Gary. Thanks. Oh, man. Michael Blair, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It is my pleasure. It is my pleasure to spend my time with you guys. You guys are the best, and I really appreciate the donation. Like I said, it keeps the lizard people away. Thank you, Michael, so much. Perseus the Cat, Minister of Cats and Cat-Related Conquests, with a $20 Canadian super chat. Hail, Perseus. And Perseus says, sorry I missed sending you anything cool for your birthday. Accept this small token of my everlasting appreciation for your undying defense of our shared cultural heritage and for creating a community where I finally belong. Perseus, it is absolutely my honor and my pleasure to have created that community. Thank you for coming to it, for being a part of it. Thanks to all of you who have joined me at the center of the earth and are fighting alongside with me for our shared cultural heritage, our modern mythologies, for saving our franchises from cynical corporate exploitation and ruination. Perseus, you've been with me a long time, man, and I just want to extend my, again, sincere appreciation for your friendship and your support, brother. Thank you so much, Perseus. And yes, it's I will put your $20 gift to good use, sir. Thank you. Luis Garced with a $5 super chat. Hail, Luis Garced. Luis does not say anything. Luis has just given me this token of esteem and popped it into the old tip jar and says nothing. Thank you, Luis, so much for that money. Again, I say I will put it to very good use against our enemies. Maybe buy a new antenna for one of the giant robots. They're always in need of spare parts. Thank you, Luis, very much. Cold Fusion Waffles with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Cold Fusion Waffles. And he says, I think I finally figured out why STD fans ignore how bad Control was. Because it resonates with them. They themselves are humans trying to be human. Brilliant, sir. Brilliant, yes. As Control was an AI trying to be an AI, they are humans trying to be human. And so they're trying to find something to love, and something that they can love without having to actually watch it or pay attention to it. Because it's hard to watch or pay attention to anything, even something as shallow and stupid as Star Trek Discovery, when you only have a 7-second attention span. Can someone with a 7-second attention span reasonably be said to still be human? Or are they more of the turnip variety? I can't answer that question. That's like philosophical ground, the whole I think, therefore I am sort of thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. I personally, I think they're human. I just think that they are DEVO. Are they not men? DEVO, exactly. They are Devo. They are de-evolution. They are stupidying. They are idioting back to the swamps from which they came. It is on us to defend and remember what it is to be human. It is on us to carry the flame of sentience forward into the 21st century and beyond. Cold Fusion Waffles. You've got a good point there. And thank you for the super chat. Accurus77. Accurus77 with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Accurus. And he says, wasn't impressed with John Wick 3. Well, Accurus, I have to say I was a bit disappointed with it. At the start of it, like I said, I was rolling my eyes in my review that I gave on the live stream on May 17th, which is the super chats that these came from. And, I just realized somewhere in the first big action sequence, the really big action sequence, which was fantastic, by the way. God damn, they have a great opening action sequence involving knives that is just, as good as anything in John Wick. But there was a whole lot of bad stuff on the way and a whole lot of bad stuff afterwards. In terms of plot, it is not a smart movie. Okay, it's just not a smart movie. There's too many dumb things that happen and too many questionable things. And you just have to go in with the attitude that the only reason that we're here and the only reason for this movie and the only thing that ties the plot together is the need to see John Wick kick ass. I mean, basically, that's it. That's why he doesn't get shot off of his horse or shot off of his motorcycle or, people come at him with knives instead of guns. It's, so that John Wick can kick ass. It's just sadly a little bit too naked that this is what is happening. And it happens over and over again. And so it's just, you just have to kind of sit back, Accurus77, and look at John Wick like it is, let's say WWE wrestling or something. It's that maybe it's just not altogether that serious, and it's kind of rigged, and it's kind of put together with spit and wadded up pieces of paper, and it doesn't really stand up to scrutiny. But you're just there to watch some good stunts and have a good time. That's the only way to really enjoy it. So. Yeah. Am I saying not to go see it? No. It's fun. There's some great stuff in it. There's some bad stuff in it. So, I mean, it's like a 3-star movie, essentially. It's not horrible. It's not great, although it does have certain parts in it that are great. So, some of the battle sequences are really fun, and just funny and dare I say witty. A lot of the battle sequences actually display a kind of almost Cole Porter-esque wit. If you want to know what I mean, go and see them. It's too hard to describe, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I got to say, I recommend you go see it. If you're a fan, you'll enjoy it. Just turn off your brain and don't ask too many questions. Otherwise, you really won't enjoy it. Thank you, Accurus77. Daryl Rayner with a $9.99 super chat. Hail, Daryl. Thank you, sir. One of my legionnaires of Doomcock. And Daryl says, Hail, Doomcock and Harvey. Congrats on 30,000. The boss is on a roll. Yes, I am. A Kaiser roll. No, I'm just kidding. Harvey hasn't gotten out yet, so I'm not on a roll as of yet. But the minute he gets out, he's going to put me on a roll, and he's going to devour me body and soul. The little shit. Anyway, he says, enjoyed your review of the Game of Thrones implosion. Couldn't really believe it fell apart like that. Keep fighting the good fight, my liege. Thank you, Daryl Rayner. Yes. Game of Thrones implosion caught all of us by surprise. It was a stunning display of narrative ledger de fuck you. It was just a horrible goddamn thing. I cannot believe they released it. And I thank God for all these petitions that are going out, making it quite clear, unambiguously and firmly that we despise this. We feel cheated, and it was fucking horrible. Thank you, Daryl Rayner, sir, for that super chat and for your friendship and support for these many year. It's been about 19 months now. Anyway, Daryl, thank you. The tad that shouldn't be with a $5 super chat. The tad that shouldn't be. It's such a hard thing to say. Anyway, it's to that should be says with a $5 super chat. Look, Watchmen is good, but it's not even the best thing Moore wrote. Miracle Man, Swamp Thing, and Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow are his best. Well, sir, I have to say, that's a difference, a matter of opinion. Miracle Man is absolutely fucking amazing. No question about it. In its own way, it is as great as Watchmen. I think it suffers a little bit because, he didn't actually get to finish it, and they brought in, Neil Gaiman and I think Grant Morrison came in and did the Apocrypha. So, I mean, he didn't quite get to finish his vision for Miracle Man. But yes, undeniably, I think Miracle Man is the perfect take on Superman. I mean, it's the perfect meta commentary on the whole Man of Steel thing. Swamp Thing, I missed out on that. I'm actually rereading all of those right now. Not rereading. I've purchased all the Swamp Thing run by Alan Moore, and I'm working my way through it slowly. So I have no opinion on that. But I would definitely say that Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow is the best goddamn Superman story ever written. I thought it was just perfect, wonderful. I will never forget that shot of Superman sitting in his fortress of solitude behind the closed door, and he's got his head in his hand, and Jimmy Olsen says it sounded like he was crying, and Kryptos sitting beside him looking at him, and picture's worth 10,000 words sometimes, and that was it. And Alan Swan, This was his swan song on the whole Superman run. And I just, start to finish, I think it's fantastic. And also, I would say, for me personally, I think that The Killing Joke is my favorite Batman story of all time as well. So, yeah, no surprise there. I love Alan Moore. I think that the man is a fucking genius. And there aren't very many people in the world that I would be impressed to meet. But Alan Moore is one of them. I would feel, dare I say, almost humbled in the company of such a genius. Thank you, the Tad that shouldn't be, for your $5 super chat, sir, and your comment. I'm glad that you are a fellow Alan Moore fan. Even if we disagree on which is his best, we certainly agree that he is fantastic. And also, you didn't mention Promethea. If you haven't read Promethea, it's fucking amazing. Gamer Gambit with a $5 super chat. Hail, Gamer Gambit. Gamer Gambit? Gambit? Blah, 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 blah. Hey, lady! Gamer Gambit says, before I was injured in Iraq, I was the real version of Jack Ryan from the movies with Baldwin and Ford. I just started the series, so was wondering. Holy shit. Gamer Gambit. Well, first of all, sir, I want to thank you for your service. I want to thank you for your courage. I hope that you were not injured too badly in Iraq, and I'd love to talk to you sometime about it, sir, whenever you have the chance. Wow, you were the real version of Jack Ryan from the movies with Baldwin and Ford. So you were essentially a kind of a smart intelligence agent functioning in Iraq. That's amazing. I have not seen the series, Gamer Gambit, and the reason that I have not watched the series is because Carlton Cuse is in charge of it, and I will never forgive Cuse for the goddamn disaster that was Lost. I just can't do it. I mean, I started watching it. I was eager to watch it. I was excited to watch it. And then I see Cuse's name come up, and I said, yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. I will not continue to patronize the work product of the asshole that created Lost, along with Lindelof, who is going to butcher Watchmen. Funny how these things come in synchronistic alignments, you know? And the previous question talking about Watchmen, and now we're talking about Jack Ryan, and the linkage between them two is Lost with Cuse and Lindelof. Fascinating how the universe works. Hail to the Gamer Gambit warrior and scholar. Sir, I would like to speak with you further. I've always wanted to meet Jack Ryan. Hail to you, sir, and thank you again for your service. Vulcan's Hammer with a $10 super chat. Hail, Vulcan's Hammer. Thank you, sir, for that $10 donation. And he says, Hail, Lord Doomcock. The 18th Legion stands by to purge the Chaos SJWs with bolter, blade, and cleansing fire for the Imperium and the Emperor. God Emperor Doomcock, the Omnissiah. I just love that. I love that. I'm accruing titles like the Khaleesi. I wonder if I will go crazy like she does too. I hope not. I don't think I will. I think I'm a little bit more balanced than the Khaleesi. Fucking Khaleesi. Jesus Christ. There was nothing wrong with her. I mean, she was egotistical, sure, but you can't want to be queen of all of Westeros. You don't want to be the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms and sit on the Iron Throne if you don't have a megalomaniacal streak about you. So, I don't hold that against her, but this madness, this genocidal madness, it comes out of nowhere, and it's utter and complete bullshit, and it's character slander, it's character assassination, and I'm so glad that so many of us out in the audience refused to buy into it. Hail to thee, Vulcan's Hammer. Thank you, sir, for volunteering your forces to fight alongside Doomcock's army when the time comes to invade the surface world. I will give you the signal, sir. Until then, hold standard orbit around the planet and keep your powder dry, sir, or whatever the energy bolt equivalent of powder is aboard your ship. Thank you, Vulcan's Hammer. Chaos Spartan 575. Hail, Chaos Spartan again with a $2 super chat. And he says, have you seen Hell's Reach on YouTube? No, sir, I have not. I have not seen Hell's Reach. I do not know what it is. But I tell you what, I will go ahead and check it out when I get the chance. I have very little free time. It's very sad. But believe me, I have noted this down. And as soon as I am done here, I will go ahead and check it out, sir. Thank you so much for alerting me to Hell's Reach. I cannot type it in and Google it at this moment, but I have jotted it down and I will be checking it out. Chaos Spartan, the next time we speak, I will at least know what Hell's Reach is. Thank you, sir. We have got a super chat from Derek Davidson. Hail, Derek Davidson. Thank you for this 10-pound super chat. A very generous gift, sir. Very generous indeed. And he says, greetings from beyond the wall in Scotland. Bunny, Scotland. I'm part Scottish, by the way, Derek. And yeah, I have always wanted to go to Scotland, but that's beside the point. Anyway, he says, greetings from beyond the wall in Scotland. Star Wars has got rid of Rian Johnson and brought in David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. That's like jumping over a puddle and landing in dog shit. Stay angry. Thank you, Derek Davidson. Yes, that is a very appropriate comment on this situation. Yep. You have basically jumped over a puddle and you've landed square in the old dog shitteroo. Yep, that's pretty much what is going to happen to Knights of the Old Republic once Benioff and Weiss get their claws into it. And I think that's probably why they were hired. Because Disney recognized that these are some assholes that will go ahead and subvert expectations and are not afraid to deliver a shit product. Iger loves the cut of their jibs, just the shitheads he was looking for. Thank you, Derek Davidson, for that vivid metaphor. Sir Ruin of House Roundhead with a $5 super chat. Hail, Sir Ruin! And he says, can I private message you how I would fix the last episode of Game of Thrones? I don't have your email, but I am a Patreon member. Of course you can, Sir Ruin. I would absolutely welcome that, and I encourage you, sir, to do that. In fact, when I get off of here, I will try to remember to message you just in case you haven't heard this broadcast. Thank you, Sir Ruin of House Roundhead. And of course, thank you for being a Xanadu here at the center of the earth with me. Some nobody. You should change that to somebody. You're nobody till somebody loves you. Anyway, some nobody with a $2 super chat says, freaking bravo, Voice Lord DVD. Never heard better. Wow. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. And I'm flattered. I'm absolutely flattered. Singing is one of the favorite things that I never get to do, really. You know, I don't really have much of an opportunity down here. The magma men, the lizard people, and the Nazis next door are not great lovers of culture. So basically, I just sing in the shower. It's kind of sad. And whenever I sing to Harvey, he leaves. He leaves this dimension. He just rolls his eyes and slips away into his dimension. I don't know if that I should take that personally, or if there's something about like the sonic vibration set up by my voice that drives him insane. You know, I'd like to think that if he ever gets out of his containment field and is about to destroy our universe, I could maybe sing to him and drive him away like a vampire before a cross. You know, maybe my singing, it's not that it's bad. Maybe eldritch gods are just sensitive to those particular vibrations. Might be like the Martians in Mars Attacks, you know. When I'm calling you. Yeah, he's not around, see? I think I drove him away. Thank you, some nobody, very much for the super chat and the very delightful compliment. Basil, with a $2 Canadian super chat. Hail, Basil! And Basil says, my liege, Spartacus is full of doom fleshy appendage. Yes, well, that is one of the drawbacks of Spartacus, is that it is dismayingly filled with right out there doom fleshy appendages. As Basil, one of my legionnaires and personal friends, says, big swinging doom fleshy appendages. Well, yeah, I just kind of avert my eyes on that particular part of Spartacus, but then look back when I see Xena, warrior princess, running around naked, and some of the other hotties over there. I tell you what, if you are a fan of violence and nudity, Spartacus is for you. Unfortunately, some of the nudity involves male-type nudity, which I am not at all a fan of, but what are you going to do, right? You take the good with the bad. I mean, you watch a porno, you're going to see some of the other with the latter, and going into the latter is the former, and the former, and the latter, and that's just, that's the way it goes. Yeah, it's just the way porn is. I don't know how to fix that. When I take over the world, I don't know. I mean, you solo videos can only get you so far. Yeah, it's just, it's nothing gay about it. It's just how we won the war, right? Right, kids. Thank you, Basil, for that doom fleshy appendage. Let's see, Brother Malachi with a $5 super chat. Hail, Brother Malachi. Welcome, sir. Thank you. And he says, I have a Vegeta Funko Pop signed by Brian Drummond. Be disappointed in me owning a normie pop if you want, Doomcock. See if I give a flying flip. Nah. No, I'm not going to get on you for that, sir. Brother Malachi, you are all right in my book. Absolutely 110,000% right. I've got one too. I mean, I was confessing that earlier in the chat on May 17th that I have actually got a Batman Funko Pop. And the eyes were black on it, which I thought was absurd. And so I painted them white, and I'm quite happy with my my Funko Pop Batman. So, yeah, I mean, it's like, look, here's the thing, Brother Malachi. Just because you own a Funko Pop toy does not mean that you are a normie. Normies own Funko Pop toys, and they think that gives them a geek membership card, right? Like, oh, look at me. I've got a Funko Pop on my fucking desk. I guess I'm one of the guys. And that is not the case at all. Actually, Brother Malachi, they are just normies. Now, you can own, however, a Funko Pop on your desk as long as you also have, say, a Rosinante and a Godzilla and some anime stuff and some Star Trek stuff. Then you have geek cred. And you can take a walk on the normie side, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, hell, if you've got enough Star Trek merchandise and Star Wars merchandise and, Godzilla stuff and Doctor Who sonic screwdrivers, and you got comics and DVDs on your shelves of Serenity and Forbidden Planet and Robbie the Robot models. Hell, you could even go fucking golf, You can even go fucking golf, and then you can go sit out at the barbecue and talk about fertilizers and lawnmowers and stuff, and still be a non-normie, fully functioning, highly accredited geek. It really is that these people just think that they can buy their geek ticket with a Funko Pop. That's the normie thing. That's all I was talking about. Brother Malachi, sir, you are all right in my book. Thank you, sir, for that super chat. Dismayingly, I don't know what this is. This bothers me greatly, folks. But there was someone out there kind enough to donate $100 Canadian super chat. $100 Canadian super chat. And it looks like fucking, I don't know what happened. It says message deleted. So I don't know if the giver of this deleted the message or what happened. But I just want to thank whoever gave me that. And I just really appreciate it. Just whenever you do a super chat, please be careful not to put in any particular word that YouTube might deem offensive. You know, if you do like, for instance, in the last one with Brother Malachi, he said, be disappointed in me owning a normie pop if you want Doom blank. And I filled in the Doom blank with Doomcock. I will do so similarly on your super chats. Just don't take a chance. Be sure and watch your language so that an Autobot won't pick it up. I mean, misspell it. Misspell it. I'll know what you're saying, and I'll be happy to say it for you. But, sir, whoever you were, God bless you, and thank you so much for your generosity. A Saruan of House Roundhead with a $5 super chat. Hail Saruan! Thank you, sir, yet again for another super chat. And he says, only show worth watching on the CW is the 100. It is a great show. You should watch it. I remember when it came on, and I just kind of got fed up with the CW. So, Sir Ruin, I've not seen it. I've not even seen a single episode. But if a fellow Legionnaire is recommending it, then I am going to check it out. Thank you, Sir Ruin of House Roundhead. When I contact you, we will talk more about it, sir. Thank you so much for another super chat. J.E. with a $2 super chat. Hail, J.E. Thank you. And he says, Ardi Betgo Indio Sifar Ogle. Is it Ogel or is it Ogle? A fan of the man with one red shoe. A little bit of Tom Hanks from the mid-'80s, if I remember. Before he was a national treasure and he was more of a comedian and imp. Yes, the man with one red shoe. A classic, sir. Thought you would stump me with that one. Well, you didn't. Ha, J.E. Good try, though. Good try. You almost stumped the buoy on that one. Hail to you, sir, and thank you for that $2 super chat. Common Sense America with a $9.99 super chat. Hail, my Legionnaire, Common Sense America. And he says, hail, my lord. I think John Wick 3 is best enjoyed as just an action movie and not analyzing it. Yes, I agree. Also think Mr. Wick could take on Harvey. Just avoid his dog at all costs, or Harvey is doomed. I don't think John Wick would have any luck at all against Harvey. It's just like a whole other order of suck. You know, Harvey, the Yakuza and all the assassins in New York at the Continental and in the Bowery are nothing compared to the dread Dr. Father, Signor, Archbishop, Reverend Harvey Cthulhu. I don't know how many titles he's been adding on lately. I think I just invented a whole bunch of them just now. But yeah, Harvey is, could John Wick do anything against Godzilla? Nah, not really. You know, an entirely different order of cinematic magnitude. You know, could John Wick do anything against the Death Star? Not unless he can fly an X-Wing and use the Force. So, John Wick is great. John Wick is fun. But you're right, man. It really should just be enjoyed as an action movie and don't think too much about the plot, because if you do, it will only ruin the goddamn movie. It just is not very well plotted. It just isn't. Thank you, Common Sense America. Marcus Jose with a $5 super chat. Hail, Marcus. And he says, unfortunately, women only ever seem to focus on what's between my legs. And he has a little emoji with a crying face. Riding on a blue necromic space dragon doesn't mean I'm a bad date. Well, I don't know really how to respond to that, Marcus Jose. You must be one of those rare men that women just can't keep their hands off of. Going around and running from them and pushing them away. You are what in the olden days would have been referred to as a high karate man. In the old days, they used to have commercials. I've seen them. Where a guy is like this nebbish, like puts on this high karate aftershave And then all of a sudden, women are chasing him through the streets like he's one of the Beatles. And he's actually having to karate chop them and, push them away. And they're ripping at his shirt and stuff. So, yeah, Marcus Jose, hi, karate man. Damn, I knew there was a reason I liked you. And not just because you're a Legionnaire. You are, sir, a man of style. You are an old school toxic male. Hail Marcus Jose, high karate expert. John Schneider with a $6.66 super chat. Thank you, John. And John Schneider says, thank you for dedication and sharing your talents with all of us, Overlord DVD. I thoroughly enjoy all the hours of entertainment, laughs, and insights. John, it is my privilege and my honor, sir. Thank you so much for allowing me to do it, for supporting me and giving me the platform and the opportunity to do what I do best, and basically to comment on our pop culture and hopefully along the way to entertain. Thank you so much, John Schneider. That is very kind of you. And man, that just really makes my night. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate you. Man, what a nice comment. Damn. What is the Matrix? With a $5 super chat. Hail, my brother. What is the Matrix? My philosophical brother from another mother. And he says, hail, Doomcock. Great Abbott and Costello routine. What other wonders may lay hidden in your villainous imagination? Well, I don't know. I'm a cartoonist. I'm an artist. I'm a painter. What else? I can't dance. Can't dance worth a shit. Don't want to. And I am not very flexible. I am rigid in attitude, in anger, and in body, mind, and spirit. I can't stretch. Stephanie B., our Twitter yogi, has threatened to make me come to her classes and try to stretch. I fear that I would break. I would break in several pieces if I tried to do yogi-style stretching. So that's not one of my hidden talents. What else? I have a uncanny ability to pour drinks very, very evenly. So if I go ahead and make a martini or a cocktail or something in a shaker, and I've got 2 glasses, and I can go ahead and pour those glasses out evenly without really measuring or paying much attention. I just have a good feel for splitting them evenly. That's not much of a superpower. It's just a fact. Who knows what other mysterious talents I have? Only time will tell. I certainly don't want to trot them all out now, because then you'd know. And then I wouldn't be able to surprise you in the future when I really need to. So I got to keep certain things to myself. Hail, what is the Matrix? And thank you, sir, for that super chat. I'm glad you enjoyed the Abbott and Costello. Yeah, man, my misspent youth. What can I say? Mark C. with a $10 super chat. Hail, Mark C., savior of this channel, who helped me to change the algorithm around with his sage advice and friendship. Thank you, Mark. And he says, from Woodstock, what's the name of the band on stage? Who? The band on the stage? Who? The band on the stage? Who? Do you see the band on the stage? No, the band plays later. That's right. Well, who's on the stage? Guess who is backstage? And yes, is in the wings. Well done, Mark C. Well done. Fitting back into that Abbott and Costello groove from earlier in the live stream. Thank you, Mark. A witty comment, my friend. Perseus the Cat. Hail, Perseus the Cat. And he's had a $2 Canadian super chat. Thank you, Perseus. And he says, oops, posted too late. Guess I'll see it on the catch-up. Yes, Perseus the Cat. Absolutely. We leave no super chat behind. Thank you, O Minister of Cats and cat-related conquests. Appreciate you contributing and being patient. Hail, Perseus. Cardinal Sin with a $5 super chat. Hail, O Cardinal Sin. And he says, it has been decided that we are all the intellectual dork web. Congrats and salutations, Lord Doomcock and Harvey Cthulhu, as well as Gary and Robert Meyer Burnett. Hail to Cardinal Sin. Yes, Cardinal Sin has coined this phrase, the intellectual dork web, encompassing all of us in the fandom menace and beyond. And Robert Meyer Burnett went ahead and ratified this coinage on one of his live streams, turning it from theoretical into actual nomenclature. And now I am happy to contribute my own voice to the rising hue and cry for the intellectual dork web. Intellectual dork reb. Johnny Intellectual Dork, he was a rebel. Hail Cardinal Sin, and thank you, sir, for the super chat. Brian Babin with a $5 super chat and a lovely portrait of Texas as his avatar. Hail Brian. Brian says nothing. Brian merely hands in the $5 and backs away, and I say, thank you, Brian, for putting that $5 in the tip jar. Really, really appreciate you, sir. Mark C. with a $10 super chat. Hail Mark C. again, sir. And he says, you see a band on the stage? Yes. Does that band have a name? Yes. So the name of the band is Yes? Yes isn't even here. So what's the name of the band on stage? Who? The band on the stage? Who? The first band. Who is the band? I'm asking you who's the band, but that's the band's name. That's whose name. Yes. So who's the band? Yes. Yeah, exactly, Mark C. I went ahead and anticipated where you were going in your earlier super chat, and then I see that you had anticipated me and had beat me to it by several days since you made this particular super chat several days ago. I guess great minds think alike, Mark C. Although you didn't get the guess who, though. On the bag, we have who's on first, guess who's on second, yes is on third. What silly names, I know. Who's on first, guess who's on second, yes is on third. You're the manager? Yes. You know the fella's names? Well, I should. Then who's on first? I need the fella's name. That's it. Jesus Christ. What a classic routine. Mark C., thank you, sir, for that additional contribution. The name of the band is Who, Guess Who, and Yes. I think we could work out a full routine, Mark. I really do. We should get together on that. We should go ahead and conspire and put our heads together and see if we can pound out a script for that. I think that would be absolutely a blast. Thank you, Mark C. Dalton Burchett. Dalton Burchett with a $2 super chat. Hail Dalton. And he says, love your voice impressions, Mr. Doomcock. Thank you, Dalton. Thank you very, very much, sir. I appreciate you, and I love you loving my voice impressions. Makes me so happy inside, Shell. Makes me feel so warm and so well-regarded, Shell. Serpentine, Shell. Thank you, Dalton. Do you know what movie that's from? I hope so. If not, look it up. Look up The In-Laws, one of the funniest goddamn movies ever made. Thank you, sir. Sabbath Storm with a $10 super chat. Hail Sabbath, and thank you, sir. He says, all hail our Overlord. A belated happy birthday, Overlord. Thank you for the entertainment this evening. I have delightedly received the Legionnaire package, and it is chock full of awesome. Sabbath Storm, I am delighted that you did. Sabbath Storm is one of my Legionnaires at patreon.com/Doomcock, Xanadoom at the center of the earth. And when you join as a Legionnaire, you get a package. You get sent a autographed picture of Doomcock. You get a membership card and a certificate of membership in the Legion of Doomcock, containing your name and what ministry you want to run when I take over the world. It can be the Ministry of Silly Walks or the Ministry of Undead Affairs or the Ministry of Cats and cat-related conquests like Perseus the Cat. So we have a lot of fun. I'm glad you liked it, man. Put a lot of time and effort into those things, and it's a labor of love from me to you. Thank you, Sabbath Storm, and hail, O Legionnaire. Anakin's Ashes with a $5 super chat. Hail Anakin's Ashes. And he says, greetings from South Texas. Love the commentary on the sinking ship that is Game of Thrones and the SJW implosion. Thank you, Anakin's Ashes. Well, at least we've got to get some good out of this mess, right? I mean, if the things that I say can take a little bit of the sting out of this horrendous situation, I'm only too happy to do it. And listen, having you guys here listening to me rant about Game of Thrones helps me cope just as well as it helps you cope. Like you, I get by with a little help from my friends. Thank you, Anakin's Ashes. Nay, nay, nay. With 50 Danish krona, I believe it is, DKK. I'm assuming it's going to be Danish krona. If it's not, I apologize for my ignorance. However, nay, nay, nay. Thank you, sir, for that contribution. Says, this one is for Mary Ashmead, our lovely mod. By the way, it's 7 a.m. here. Ha ha. Well, good morning, Denmark. Or I guess it's Denmark. It's got to be Denmark. Doesn't DKK have to be Denmark? Good morning, Denmark. And hail to nay, nay, nay. Thank you on behalf of Mary Ashmead, our lovely mod indeed. She does a fabulous job for us here. She is our den mother. She is also our cop on the beat, ejecting loud, obnoxious drunks from the chat to the benefit of everyone. Hail, Mary Ashmead. I hope you're listening out there, sending you out salutes and love from all of the gang. Thank you, nay, nay, nay. Tito Jorge with a $2 super chat. Hail, Tito Jorge. And he says, hail, Doomcock. 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 That's right. Hey, that would be cool. Kind of like RoboCop meets Doomcock. Down, 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 down. That would be super cool. Doomcock. I'd like to see a drawing of that. Me with a police hat and a stick. Anyway, Tito Jorge says, hail, Doomcock, and happy natal day. Thank you, Tito Jorge. Sir, it has been a wonderful, wonderful birthday season. Dare I say it, with the outpouring of all the gifts and the super chats and the cards and the love, I think that you guys have made this the bestest birthday ever. I mean that in the most sincere way possible. You guys, thank you so much for all your presents and wishes and donations and all the comments, and it just means so much to me. The other day I got a card in the mail from my Legionnaire Barrel Bob, and it just said, I hope you have a really great birthday, and just a little personal message in there. It just meant the world to me. And I gotta say, you guys have meant so much to me this past 19 months. I went from having almost no friends in the world to having more than I can even count. You guys are the best. You guys have completely turned my life around. And if only I had met you 10 or 15 years earlier, I might not be a supervillain today. Your friendship, warmth, and regard might well have turned me into a superhero. Oh well. Onward to conquering and or destroying the fucking world. You're too late, but still, nevertheless, honest to God, guys, thank you so much for being my friends. It just means the world to me. And we have a final super chat of the evening here from Vince and Repeat. I love it. Vince and Repeat with a $14.99 Australian super chat. Thank you, Vince and Repeat. Very clever name. I like that. And Vince and Repeat says, I tried to vote for you in the Australian election, but they wouldn't let me. Insert sad face here. Well, Australia shall pay dearly, very dearly for this affront. When I have my followers attempting to put me into office to stay my hand from pulling the lever of invasion of the surface world, to shield the fucking world, the whole fucking world, from suffering the brunt of my wrath at the hands of my giant robots, my giant insect army, my army of undead, my army of extraterrestrial warriors, the few magma men that I've recruited to my side, and the lizard people that I have marshaled into my service using sticks and carrots tied to their heads. I got to tell you, they'll pay. They'll pay. If only they hadn't stood in the way. If only I could be joining right now the Australian government, perhaps that might have placated my insatiable rage. But since it hasn't, goddammit, the invasion is still on. The invasion is still fucking on. And on that note, I want to thank all of you who contributed to this wonderful, wonderful Super Chat Square Up. Thank you guys for your generosity. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for your support. We leave no super chat behind, God damn it. And once again, we have proven that with this extra long Super Chat Square Up. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock
And Harvey and Cthulhu.
bidding you all, my friends, stay angry and see you next time.